So I was talking to a male friend of mine the other day. He told me that women don't apologize and women can't be held accountable. I began to really think deeply about this idea. And one of the things that came across my mind is in the last 9 months or so of me being in my private practice, I have myself experienced many women, whether they came in as a couple or they came by themselves, they very abruptly discontinued their therapy. And I started to reflect and really think, what was going on here? I noticed that after I had to confront them. I had to bring to their attention something they were doing that wasn't contributing to the health of the relationship. They became very defensive and they stopped coming. And even though the husband would continue to come, he made it very clear that, she won't apologize. She thinks you're wrong. She thinks you're taking my side.
Women are held to no standards of accountability in society right now. Wherever you go, women can say and do whatever they want, essentially. They're off the hook because they're a woman. I'm married to a woman that says sorry. And I'm telling you right now, when she said sorry to me, like when we were dating, I was like, what? I was so surprised. And she said it over something super minor. Like it didn't even occur to me to be offended. It's like, hey, I just want to let you know that I'm so sorry the way I did that. And I was like, this woman has to be preserved. It's like that real. She has to be studied and she has to be replicated. There are a few that say sorry.
For sure. And I think from my experience and the things that I've seen, a lot of times they're raised by dudes. Or dudes are in their lives. The fathers are in their lives.
And not just fathers. It's fathers that don't treat them like a princess. Because that's part of the issue. There's a lot of fathers that indulge this whole princess mindset and never hold their daughters accountable. They get away with all kinds of nonsense and shenanigans. That's what I mean. There's no accountability back into society for most women. But when you have a good dad who actually is raising his daughters right, and they're respectful to men, they understand how to treat a man, that woman's worth her weight in gold in today's society.
To quit therapy altogether when it was your idea is crazy. Diabolical work. Accountability hurts that bad.
Okay, fellas, y'all are not wrong about this accountability conversation. Mind you, I'm not saying all women, so don't come for me if you're an accountable woman, okay? But a lot of women don't have accountability. But let me tell you something, fellas. I got it figured out. It is because a lot of women spend their time being loud and wrong, okay? They are loud and wrong, and I can speak because I'm a woman. People so far in everybody's business, this person doing this person going to this church, she's sleeping with this person going to the BET Awards, Stop it. Just be quiet. Stop being loud and wrong. The way to fix this and to fix the accountability that some women lack is just for the women to be quiet. And I'm not saying that you can't have a voice for yourself, but learn how to be quiet and analyze something first. Because what happens is your ego kicks in because you were so loud and so wrong for so long that you somehow tricked your own brain to believe that what you're saying is the definite exact truth. And that's probably some level of craziness. But anyway, I ain't no doctor to diagnose it, but I'm just saying. And then you continue being loud and wrong and nobody can tell you anything because you got it all figured out. But if you just take the time to be quiet, let's say you are wrong. You can analyze within yourself to say, hey, I was wrong. And you can take self-accountability. You don't have to be outward accountable. It's where your ego kicks in because you don't like to do that. So just do us a favor. Be quiet and stop being so loud and wrong about everything. And mind your business, baby.
Uncomfortable truth is that, fellas, you need to take accountability for how you allow your woman to treat you. If you are allowing her to talk to you any kind of way, stop being mad when she talks to you any kind of way. If you allow her to disrespect you all the time, stop being mad when she disrespects you. If you allow her to put her hands on you, stop being mad whenever she put her hands on you. If you let her act like a spoiled brat and then you reward her or whatever the hell it is that she threw a fit about for anyway, stop being mad when she throw them fits to get her way. Baby, it's learned behavior. You have to take accountability too for how you allow somebody to treat you. You know you deserve to be treated better. Stop allowing anybody and everybody to treat you any kind of way.
I got to get on up out of here. I'll see you later. 6-month lease come up for renewal. I'm gonna go ahead and put in my 60 days right now.
There's women out there that will walk away from a good man talking about, oh, he wanted to go half on rent. He wanted to go half on
facts.
Like that is, you know how fatuous and inane that is to say he wanted to go half. First of all, you are responsible for 100% of your life as an adult. 100% of your problems, 100% of your bills, 100% of your stress, and you mean to tell me you had a man right there like, I'll take half of that from you. And you was like, that ain't good enough.
Right.
Damn.
I want you to take it all. I don't want to have no responsibility as an adult. And that is financial, and that is feminine manipulation. And so then, fellas, you need to walk away.
Maybe I'm being too hard on him. I could be exhibiting a tad bit of toxic masculinity. I don't know. I don't think so.
On my life, I slept the fucking song that I hate when a nigga think that I won't put my motherfucking hands on him. I slept the dog. The fuck? I don't give a fuck about you me back, bitch. I still slept you. Then how the fuck I hate when a nigga think I won't fucking slap him. Bitch, I will slap the fuck out of you on my. That shit gets up under my blood, so I'm not your homeboy.
I hated my healthy relationship. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Everything seemed extremely foreign to me. I even remember at the beginning of my relationship, I'm like, hey, there's a part of me inside that does not like you. And I said it with like a comical relief, but I was really serious. Like, there was a part of me that did not like this person, did not like how he held me accountable. I did not like how he held a mirror to my face. I did not like how he created situations where I had to be at my full potential, and I just was not ready to be my full potential at that moment.
You know how they put it? I wasn't ready to be at my full potential right then. Like, if you put it bluntly, I wasn't ready to grow up. I wasn't ready to be an adult. As a full grown woman, I wasn't ready to do what I was supposed to do and be responsible. That's crazy work.
She doesn't hate men, she just hates accountability. Have you ever noticed some women are quick to say men are or men are blank or this or that, and it's all horrible negative things? I can't even say that without getting this video removed. But the second you say, hey, what is your part in this? Suddenly, you're a misogynist. You're too sensitive. You're not masculine enough. And overall, you're just the problem. Some women will use unrealistic expectation. They'll give the bare minimum, and then when the actual relationship fails, they'll find a way to blame you. You weren't masculine enough. You didn't lead. You didn't do enough for me. I deserve better. You didn't meet her crazy high standards. And if you ask, what did you bring to the table, she gets super upset. Because she doesn't want to have to self-reflect. You are allowed to speak up. You're allowed to have expectations, boundaries, and standards in your relationships. Despite us living in a world where men are constantly told they're not allowed to. And if she calls you toxic for wanting a good balance between accountability for the both of you, that's not your lady.
Ain't no benefits when you part-time. We did enough dumb shit. From here on out, we on smart time. And having hate y'all is different from the chalk lines. These real niggas are built off hard times. The odds were against us. So either I'ma be a cold dog, I'ma sit hard till they pinch us. Senseless to put boxes in so they fenced us. And now we pulling off the line with the teamsters. Some niggas traded, other niggas faded. Some are still around if you don't see them, then they hate it. That's usually not going. The journey is for the chosen. Without it all I can do is remain golden. Rain like fresh and my neck will remain frozen. Hold the neck 10 toes down and we ain't folding. Can't say you doing a thing when you ain't holding. Moving that wood in spring, but it ain't Poland. Alkaline, yeah, I'm out for mine. I thought.
It's about what it looked like sometimes, ain't it?
OG told me this. He said, bro, if your girl come home, you done cook, clean, fold the clothes, did the laundry, put the kids down. Only thing she got to do is you. So I'm like, all right, bam. Put that in my. Then when they come home, all this is done. You know what I mean? It's like you don't know how to react to something you're not used to. You used to come to the house, she probably on the game, smoking, you know what I mean? Dishes piled sky high. She mad, probably had a bad day at work. He ain't checked on her all day at work. Ain't sent her nothing, no text, no nothing. And then asked for $40 for a sack. Then you got like me, like, hey, you straight? You eat today? How your mental? You good? You need me to? I already went and did the little, you know what I'm saying, mulch and stuff for your little flower pot and garden. I heard you talking about you wanted to put some new kitchen sinks in there, appliances and stuff. I already called some people. I don't know how to fix it, but I got the money to get it.
And once again, this sounds great until a woman comes home complaining about it. Instead of saying, I'm thinking about a time where a woman, a dude got her something. Because, you know, he didn't, essentially, like, she liked it a certain way and he got it for her. And she came to the house, opened it, and she was like, man, I don't even like this anymore. It was like, well, I didn't know that. It was like, that's the way you used to like it. But her ideas or preferences had changed. And instead of focusing on what he was trying to do, she went on a rant about how he wasn't listening, how he wasn't focusing on what she wanted and all this other nonsense, instead of just saying thank you, or maybe trying to slip it in a little bit late. Oh man, I haven't eaten these in a while. Wow. Or something like that. And then the man be able to observe. A lot of times women do stuff that men don't necessarily care about either. But a man is supposed to, and is expected to, recognize the sentimental value. But a man can't get that respect in return. So all this that you're saying is good. It's just that men want women to start reciprocating.
Well, say if you do stand your ground, right? Say if she does disrespect you, and you do stand your ground, but then she gives you an excuse of, oh baby, my hormones is the reason why I talk to you. So this is, I think, why you were saying that. Don't get dragged into the emotion.
Yeah.
All right? Don't let her get away with disrespecting you, even though it might be that time of the month.
Right.
It might be her hormones are wacky, whatever the case may be. You can still acknowledge and say, babe, I get it, right? Your hormones are a little out of whack. It might be that time of the month, but that still doesn't, right?
Absolve you.
Yeah, it doesn't negate the fact that you did disrespect me. So we have to handle that separately,
right?
And then we can, understand and kind of cater to what you're going through. But still, disrespect will not be tolerated.
Stay within the lot. If you know what you're saying is logically sound, do not get dragged into her emotional realm to try to appease her.
You see guys even get cheated on, right? Right.
And they trying to understand why she cheated on me.
She's cheated on. Look, she cheated on you. You confront her about cheating, and what does she do? She cries about it, baby. Oh my God, I don't know what's going on. You didn't spend time with me. It's been a lot on my back. I don't get your attention anymore. Okay, we could talk about that,
right?
But it still doesn't
negate the decision you chose to make,
and that would be getting sucked into
her emotional realm.
A lot of men move with you. They adapt. They understand certain things happen. But I think some women use it as a license to go overboard. It's one thing to be irritable. It's one thing to be kind of snappy, and a man's like, oh, well, that's just the way she is. Same things happen with guys. When you're going through something, you'd be like, oh yeah, it's just what he's going through right now. Just kind of give him a couple seconds and it'll be okay. But some women out there, they keep on going with it. Now we're outside of the month and you've been doing this for years. What's up? And so when I say you're talking to me sideways and you continue to do it, what's up? Then some women get mad.
Not even men, it's women unfollowing me for speaking out against.
The thing is, they hate to see you take away the plans, the hope, the dreams, and the future that they had with a man who is, whether it's mentally, physically, verbally, or emotionally. I was just on here last week, and I came past this girl's video who was on here, and she was basically like, so y'all want me to forget my mother, forget my family, forget my friends, but y'all want me to leave my man because he being black my eye? Yes. That's why I'm never going to get to a point where I don't hold men and women accountable. Because a lot of y'all women be knowing and y'all just do not be caring. Y'all desire to be loved, to be wanted, and to be accepted. Be having y'all in situations that y'all be knowing better. Y'all be knowing better. And then when it gets too much for you, when you're up to here with it, now you want to, oh, I'm the victim. You knew. We can just speak on a Chris Brown situation, because if I spoke on black men in general, baby, we would be here all year. Chris Brown actions has been the same since 2009, 2010. He has not changed. He has not done anything differently. He has assaulted multiple women on multiple occasions and has not been held accountable for it. They have put this man on 2 separate programs to do better and be better, and he has not finished not one. Not one. But guess what? Majority of Chris Brown's fan base is women. Tickets sold out, it was majority of women buying those tickets. And there's a woman right now waiting for her opportunity with him, and it don't matter. It don't matter what they know. It don't matter what they seen. They will still take that chance. All on the desire to be loved. Y'all need to be accepted. It's putting y'all in positions that y'all should not be in. And it's so upsetting, because the only thing I can think and the only thing that I see is at some point this is going to be your daughter. This is going to be your daughter, and this is why it is so hard, and it has been so hard for us to stop the patterns. To stop the same behavior, the same situations. How is 5, 6, 7 different generations ending up in the same positions with women? Nobody's using their intuition. Nobody's showing their daughter how to have dignity, integrity, how to drop on your knees and pray to God and use your intuition to know when a situation is not for you. I'm going to continue to hold men, and especially women now, accountable for y'all actions, because y'all are putting yourself in a lot of these situations.
Woman in the comments says, and maybe this is unrelated, but spiritually, one of my homegirls loves Chris Brown and idolizes him. Got with a light-skinned man she knew was a mishandler, thought she was bigger than the program, and he did her worse. This video is spot on. Exactly, they be all up in his arms, all up in the comments, and this is why men say, what is your body count? Oh, well, I shouldn't have to worry about X, Y, and Z. What are you bringing to the table? Oh, why you ask me that if you came over here and asked me out? And what value do you bring to the relationship? Are you feminine? Are you friendly? They don't like to be held accountable for that type of stuff because they wasn't doing it. They weren't doing it, and they're not going to start doing it now. They want a man to accept them in their current state as they are and don't have to change.
Why do girls always choose bad boys? The simple answer is we are wired for survival. Let me explain. So in early childhood, if your father or your caretaker gave you conditional love, what happens is our nervous system and our bodies start to become familiar with receiving love that isn't true love, but it's conditional, meaning we believe that we're only going to be loved under certain conditions. And then what happens is when we grow up, those things don't change. We're still, as women or as girls, going to be drawn toward men who conditionally love us. So what happens is the girl's going to see the bad boy as fun and adventurous, as, ooh, this is going to be exciting. But what she doesn't know is she's being drawn toward men who are going to conditionally love her, who don't really show her true love. Because if a nice guy was to come into her life, she wouldn't even be attracted to him. Why? Because she's drawn toward the familiar. Familiar equals safety. So if you are a woman or a girl or a lady who was raised in a toxic environment or received conditional love, you might notice that you start to attract men who seem to always be loving you in a conditional way. This means that you have work to do, you have healing to do on your own self, so that you can learn to accept and believe that you deserve unconditional love.
So y'all don't think it's simply because sometimes I'm just attracted to that? I saw that on TV and I thought that might have been something that I wanted to be involved in. Y'all don't think it could be that? It's always got to be some deep, complex thing behind it? No. If somebody's rapping about something and I'm like, man, you know, it looks like that's glamorous and they're living that life, what does that look like for me to live it? And then go get involved in nonsense, not understanding, whoa, this life is dangerous. I don't want to be a part of this. I'm out. You don't think it could be the same for women when they're saying, man, I really want this bad guy, this bad boy. I saw him on TV or I saw him in a movie and he was just edgy and he was, all the girls just loved him because he was a heartthrob and you just something about him. You don't think you might have the ability or you might want to fall for that type of guy just because that's something that you saw somewhere or read about? It's always got to be somebody else's fault. It's got to be a complex problem.
You all can understand that a woman should leave a man if he doesn't have enough money, but not that a woman should leave a man if he's her. You all empathize and understand if a woman leaves a man because he can't financially support her. But you empathize and make excuses for why a woman would stay with a man who's on her. And then you all say things like, well, if you all won't speak up about a haircut, your hair is going to grow back. You could die from getting punched in the face. I can't even believe that people who are considered smart came up with that argument. How is that anywhere near comparable? Not speaking up about a haircut? Probably because it's going to grow back. You might have to get reconstructive facial surgery after someone hits you. With a bottle? With a bat? At what point should you leave somebody? Because it seems like the only point is if they don't have money. Anything else is free game. I'm really trying not to crash out. I'm trying not to crash out because you all will make every excuse in the book just because these people have money. Y'all are even saying that they paid the security guy to speak up now about the Tory Lanez situation. You all understand why someone wouldn't leave a partner, but not understand why someone wouldn't come out and speak up about a situation like that? Especially under Rock Nation? Maybe he was afraid? You are like, well, why did it take him so long? But you can't understand why someone would stay with an for so long? Oh, y'all playing Gaslight of the century. This has to be the most epic gaslight of all time. And if we don't handle this right, properly, better than this, ooh, we want to talk about a gender war? I don't think people are going to go to war at all. I think people are just literally going to be just disgusted and just won't talk to anyone. Everyone's just going to keep to themselves. We're already wondering, why aren't people talking anymore? Why are people wearing their headphones? Oh, we're way past that. Y'all will be lucky to even see people at this point. Going forward. Why did it take him so long to speak up? Why didn't he say nothing at the time? Why didn't she leave him the first time he punched her in the face? What difference does it make if they're saying it now? Right? As long as people speak up. This time frame matters, but this one doesn't. This one is bad, but this one's good. See, y'all are fighting optics, but the optics are much stronger. We acting like there aren't women who avoid accountability by claiming victim, just to not be held responsible for their actions. It's sad that they had to come up with a limit on how many women could come forward, or had to have like restrictions or guidelines or qualifications for what would be considered as being a victim. Because so many people will flip and twist narratives just to claim it and reap benefits of it. Be looked at as a better person, to be coddled or paid attention to or paid. I blame SVU. I blame SVU. I blame SVU. I like there wasn't people on there trying to take advantage of situations. Do y'all remember the movie Liar, Liar? Remember the woman that he was helping in court? We've never seen it. It never happens. My last time talking about it. I'm about to get in my regular scheduled program because
But constantly men sit on the sideline not saying a thing, even though they done told they girls, they friends, they homegirls, hey man, this dude is not for you. Leave that man alone. Get away from that man. Why are you still in that man's face? They don't hear you until they hear you. Until they feel him, they can't hear you.
Let me tell you why you're picking awful men. I realized the reason I was doing it. It is much easier to place blame on somebody and focus on a man who's just outright disrespecting you than to actually address your own issues that you bring to the table in a relationship when you're with an actual functioning, healed, stable man. I realize now because I met a man that is level-headed, stable, and just like, I'm like, damn, there's like no red flags here. And that actually stressed me out because I'm like, I would be the problem in this relationship. I would need to definitely do healing and self-work in order to bring a good version of myself to this relationship. Otherwise, I would bring past traumas to this man. When I was with toxic men, it was really easy to just point the finger and not have time to even self-reflect because they were just doing me so wrong. And it's also created this somewhat of a perception of myself that might not even necessarily be true. Like, I might not be the best in a relationship.
With his so y'all, throughout the day I come to these realizations, and I'm gonna start doing realizations with Meeks. So day one of realizations with Meeks, I'm gonna just post it spontaneously whenever I get a thought or whenever I feel like I realize something. This is not gonna be like, oh, a series. It's actually a spontaneous series. That's what we call it. But basically, y'all, I came to the realization that a lot of women nowadays, the way that we move in relationships and the way that we feel like we should receive love or how we should be treated is based off how our fathers raised us. Yes, based off how we was raised with love through our family, through our parents and everything. But I feel like for women, it heavily relies on how we receive love from our fathers. And a lot of relationships is either going downhill or there's confusion on how you should maneuver with a man or how you should be treated, because some people didn't have fathers in their lives, a father figure. Or some people, the way that they receive love is not the way that society is putting it out there that men should treat us, you know? And I can only speak to myself to give the best example to cause me to come to this realization. But for example, I learned love through my father, through how he cares about me, how he treats me, not financially. I didn't have a father who was able to buy whatever I want whenever I want, but I had a father who bought what I wanted when he can. And it was a saying like, he gave his 100% when he had the ability to, and sometimes it was 20%, sometimes it was 10, and sometimes it was 100, sometimes it was 50. It fluctuated because at the end of the day, I have parents that came from the Caribbean. So my dad, he wasn't the richest man, but one thing he was rich in is his spirit. The way that he showed love, he cared for me, he made sure I was good. He spoke life into me, you know. He always was the type of dad where I asked him to do something, he's gonna find the best way, he's gonna find any way possible to make that happen. And that's what I know love to be. That's why when I get into relationships, they always say, no place in myself, that, you know, it just seems like I'm genuine and I'm not here for their money. Like, I'm not. That's not how I feel like you can be that person for me. That's not how I feel like you're showing love, you know. And I understand financial struggles because I have foreign parents and I'm foreign myself. I'm not from here, so I know what struggle looks like, and I would never expect somebody to show love or show that they care for me by how much they spend for me. But obviously, through my personal experiences, I realized when I moved like that, I ended up bumping into people who took how I maneuver with money as an advantage, and they looked at my kindness as a weakness, and I got taken advantage multiple times based off my finances because I just spend. You feel me? If I have money, I'm gonna pay. If you don't have money, it's cool. But it reached a point where I started running into some bad rhyme fruits, you know, that obviously gave me some trauma in my dating world now. But I realized, because I have a boyfriend now, I realized that I feel so much love from him because of how he treats me, and he treats me how my dad treats me. You feel me? If I ask for something, I know that he's gonna try in his best ability to make it happen. Even if he can't, he's gonna try to find a way. Even though I don't want him to, you feel me? And I could just tell that he just wants the best for me, and that's how I felt through my father. That he just wants the best for me. And I feel like for the females out here who didn't have that father figure, who didn't have the best examples of what love could be for them, I really do believe that, like, y'all out there should really start treating yourself. You gotta pour into yourself how you want somebody to pour into you. Because that's also how I learned as well. I started treating myself how I want to be treated. You know, I like dates. I take myself out on dates. I like flowers. I would buy myself flowers. I haven't bought myself flowers lately, but I've been receiving them randomly, which is crazy. Like, that's crazy. But anything I wanted, I did it for myself to showcase that this is how I expect to be treated. Some women don't even treat themselves how they expect somebody to be treated, and they didn't have that example to show them this is how they should be treated. It's backwards. You're losing the game right now. Come on, you feel me? So I really just wanted to post this to spread awareness to anybody out there, because this realization hit me, because I always question, like, do I feel like I'm loved? Do I feel like this is what's for me? Do I feel like I'm being treated how I personally feel like I should be getting treated? And I realized I gotta give props to my dad. Every time I see my dad, I feel loved. I feel it. I know that my dad loves me. And then my man, I know he you know, me. So it's just like, and I know I love me as well by how I treat myself. So I just want to say, for anybody out there who's confused and how they should be treated, don't compare to what society got going on or what other people got going on. You know, compare it to how you treat yourself or how your dad treats you. That's how you align. Stop looking at society and social media and thinking, oh, I want this man to do this. I want this man to buy me a car for our marriage gift. Did your dad do that for your mom? Did you see that happen? Did you buy that car for yourself? Your life psychology, we move by example. We move by purpose. And you got to figure out how that aligns with you. Stop expecting somebody to do something for you that you wouldn't do for yourself, or that nobody in your life ever done for you. Because at that moment, you're confusing yourself. You don't even know what love is for you. You're just going based off what social media is telling you what love is for you. Structure up. I just wanted to share. Happy July.
Somebody said, I don't understand why y'all think that you should get the same relationship you had with your father with your man. It's literally two different people, and it's kind of gross to think of that. Your father raised you. I didn't. So I'm not going to pay or do half of what he did. That's why 50-50 is always recommended. I would say maybe have the qualities that her father exhibited in terms of being a good, honest, upstanding man with integrity and consistent behavior. If that's what you mean, then that's what you need to communicate. But as far as me just coming in and taking all of your bills straight out the way, straight out the gate, that's not realistic for some of these people. And that's okay. You guys need to learn to build together. Your father wasn't the man that he was, probably not the man that he was before you were born. He changed into a different man when you were born. And then over time, if he's a good father, he kept on trying to progress and be a better man for you. That would be the same thing for your husband.
It says that the majority of men are bare minimum bums, and that's all women have to choose from. This is hands down one of my most common comments from men when we discuss men doing the bare minimum or less than the bare minimum. And they always love to say, well, then pick better men. Why do you keep marrying these bums? Naturally, completely disregarding the fact that the bum behavior is the men's fault, not the woman's fault, but I digress. But what it also says is that there are so few above bare minimum men to choose from. Women have to lower their standards so far down because that's all that there is. Those are the choices. And because society continues and has told women for centuries that they need to grow up, get married, and have babies, that doesn't leave us with a whole lot of choices. Thankfully, however, now women and younger generations of women are understanding that this bare minimum behavior is no longer going to be accepted or tolerated. That's why we're seeing a rise of single, childless women and a rise of lonely, single men. See how things are turning a little bit here. Women are tired of listening to society's expectations that they need to settle down, get married, and have children with mediocre men. And they are now saying, nope, not gonna do that. I'm not going to settle for below bare minimum when I don't have to. I can go to work. I can live by myself. I can travel. I can be happy alone and childless. I don't have to sift through the sad pool of below bare minimum men and accept that. They don't have to do that anymore. But for a lot of women currently married, they did. Because for a long time, women couldn't even open their own checking accounts. They couldn't even file for divorce. They didn't know that it was okay to expect more than the bare minimum because society normalized bare minimum behavior for men. So no, there wasn't a whole lot of good men to choose from. So pair the lack of good men to choose from with society's expectations of having to settle down and have children, what you get is a saturated pool of men. Hope this helps.
You remember those women that say things like, oh, y'all are not traditional like my grandfather. He used to pay the bills. He used to take care of everything. He used to not do this, do that, do this, do that. And my mom never had to lift at this. She never had to do that. So there's no men like that anymore? There's no man that would not do that for you anymore? Or are they in your friend zone?
Do you want to know why us women go for the bad guys? Because we're freaking idiots. I mean, seriously, I really think that maybe that's the bottom line. Maybe not, though. I've been thinking about it, and I think I might have figured just something a little out. A lot of the guys that are out there that are considered bad guys, not necessarily the bad boys, but the guys that don't always treat women well, they usually, probably 99% of the time, start out in a relationship pretending that they could be that knight in shining armor. Then they get tired of doing that and their actual face comes forward. They stop doing the things that they did in the beginning of the relationship. They stop being attentive. They stop paying attention. They stopped holding hands. They stopped giving intimacy, not sex, but intimacy. They stopped all of the things that they did to get the girl. They stopped them. That usually ends up where the female then feels like they have to do something to keep that guy involved in the relationship. So then the woman ends up doing more in the relationship than the guy. And we are also still continuing to fight for that love because even though what they gave us in the beginning wasn't actually love, it was just their way of gaining attention from us, we now are trying to gain that attention back from them. So we chase and we follow and we do all the things that we shouldn't be doing. Now, I do not mean that we are idiots. I just mean that a lot of the times it's not that we're trying to find the bad guys. It's that the bad guys are pretending to be the good guys. We get involved in a relationship with them. They start turning a different face, and then we feel like we need to try to do whatever we possibly can to get that good guy back that they were pretending to be.
I'm reading one of her comments right here. It just says, yeah, it's weird, very weird, but it boils down to low self-esteem of the woman. She doesn't feel like she's worthy of love, so she believes if she fights for it, then she's worth it. Crazy but true. Maybe, but also maybe it's not low self-esteem. Maybe you just want a thrill. Maybe you see somebody and say, oh man, he's that B and so am I. Maybe you're overconfident. Maybe you have too much confidence. Maybe you're prideful, just like he is. That Chad can pull any person and you say, you know what? These ladies might not be able to handle you, but I like a challenge. I'm about to run over. I like mystery. I'm about to go over here and get this man. Because these women that he's putting off to the side, baby girl, he ain't never had me. He ain't never had some of this. You go over there and you get done like all of the other women. The rest of the 100 that he didn't have. And now you're upset talking about, where are the good men? Can't find them.
If you're the nice guy that keeps watching the girl you like get attached to toxic men, you might want to listen up. Today, we're talking about why women love toxic men. Whew, I'm gonna need it. Now, the obvious is that we want to change them. Think of that one thing you were never able to achieve in life. And remember how it felt so good when you finally succeeded? That's why. We want the experience of successfully attaining that thing we couldn't get. When something isn't easy to get, we want it more. Next, usually we feel bad for them. It's not so easy to leave them when we become so invested in their story. Usually this story involves some level of loneliness, and we feel like if we leave them, even though they'll run straight to the next girl, at the end of the day, they'll wind up alone. And the thought of that makes us feel guilty. We like the intensity. Healthy relationships don't have those same intense feelings of toxic relationships. There's no peaks and valleys. It's pretty stable. Although there are low lows in a toxic relationship, the dopamine during those highs becomes addicting. We don't feel like we can get anyone else. Usually that feeling becomes more prevalent the longer you're with a toxic guy. You can't imagine yourself starting over. And the thought of being alone is really scary. And that person has convinced us that they're great, and we believe it. Although it's frustrating to watch people you care about wind up in this cycle, if you're a non-toxic guy watching this, there's hope. This cycle doesn't last forever, and I'm an example of that. You eventually hit an exhaustion point of no return. And although there's a lot of healing to be done after the fact, the good guy always wins.
The dude said, so I have to wait until she's fed up with the toxic guys for her to want a good one? Exactly. Another guy says, so basically, when y'all have rode the carousel, then that's when y'all calm down and settle for the nice guy. Yeah, that's why I stay single.